I'll miss out on this money for the love of West Indies cricket. And I've done it. I've done it over the years. Miss out Bangladesh Premier League, which paid well. Miss out on PSL that pays well to play for West Indies. I leave tournaments to go and join West Indies. And what we get paid in international cricket for West Indies is way less than what you can make from a franchise cricket. But that is a sacrifice that I take that no one talk about.
Welcome, Andrew, back again to Dubai. I spoke to you a few years ago when you played for Northern Warriors. Again, I'm meeting you now. Next, start to talk about the biggest brand in world cricket. That's West Indies. So, are you disappointed with the way West Indies played in the World Cup, T20 World Cup, losing in the first round, two-time champions? How disappointed were you with the performance?
Yeah, actually, I was a bit disappointed. Well, very disappointed. Knowing that I have, good mates, close mates that was a part of the team. No one went down there with the mindset not to qualify for the Super 12. But at the end of the day, I just think in terms of the whole selection thing, you can't blame those players. They try their best. And, not saying anything negative based on I wasn't a part of the squad. Who knows? Maybe if I was there, maybe it wouldn't change the result. But knowing what I have been doing and what I have done in international cricket, I just think, I'm going to back my talent that we would have maybe qualified for the Super 12. Maybe a few other players, if they, a part of the squad, they would maybe come to the party and at least, play in the Super 12. Not saying that we would win the World Cup, but being in the Super 12, that's every chance you have.
Correct.
So we wouldn't roll over and say, okay, we're just here to compete. We're two-time world champions, and I was a part of those two World Cup championships, and we know what to do at the big stage, and that's the reason why I'm so disappointed.
Not just you. West Indies had some very good talents like Sunil Narayan. You then just before the departure, Hetmeyer had to pull out because he didn't reach there in time. Things are not happening in the right way, isn't it, in West Indies cricket right now? Or what is the reason, in your opinion?
I think there's too much ego involved. If I'm just gonna be straightforward and honest, too much ego is involved. I think past players and who is involved with the board, not bashing anyone. I'm not that type of guy to go live and to, say this, say that about whatever is happening. But I leave that to time, to take care of itself. So I just think too much ego is involved. Like, for instance, my situation, I don't know what's going on in terms of other players not being selected.
Yeah.
But for me, it was a simple decision that didn't go according to plan. I think a few years ago, me and Pollard and Mr. Simmons, head coach, we had a Zoom call, and, they all mentioned the importance of senior players being a part of the squad. And, I was excited to see the direction that they are going. We talk about everything, like, what they're expecting, what they want from us. They know we're not going to be available for all the series, but they want to know our schedule ahead of time. So whatever we are available for and what we are not available for, so they can plan according. And that was a straight up decision. The guys that's involved now is the same guys that was involved before. The only changes was the chairman of selectors, Mr. Desmond Ings, and he basically didn't know what was the conversation like 2 years before. And, I was disappointed knowing that the coach was a part of the Zoom call and he didn't utter a word about what was planned before. So I think they have their plans and people change, and that's fine. But the thing that I wasn't happy about is how they went about it. So there was 4 series during that period. I had the Zoom call. They said to me that, Russ, I want to know what's your plan. World Cup is coming up. We need all our good players to be a part of the whole setup and everything. I said, I'm happy to be a part of it. West Indies cricket means everything to me. I don't mind hitting 6 sixes and doing all of these great things that I've been doing in league cricket, playing in the Maroon, playing for West Indies. So they said to me, 4 series coming up, India, Bangladesh, New Zealand, and then one before the World Cup in Australia. So my thing was, I said to them, I'm going to miss New Zealand series, but I'm available for that 3 series. In the conversation that was held on the Zoom call, Mr. Pollard and also Phil Simmons mentioned that if there's 4 series coming up, we want to know which one you're going to miss or which 2 you're going to miss, because I'm not on a central contract for West Indies. So I'm not 100% like there in terms of like how other players would be getting paid monthly to be a part of the whole thing and whatever. So they agreed to everything that was mentioned. Now, during that period, I missed a few leagues just to play for West Indies. No one look at that, but they look at the one that I'm missing to go and play the 100 ball in England. And that's where I see that I'm not gonna allow these guys to dictate my pace. I'm 34 years old, and I mentioned to them straightforward. I say I have kids, I have responsibilities.
Correct.
I'm not going around the corner, I'm not beating around the bush. I'm telling them straight up. Because in a couple of years' time, when I start playing cricket, who's going to be there for me?
Correct.
I've seen a lot of players come through the ranks, play for West Indies, being passionate. Oh, I am so passionate about playing for. Yes, everyone is passionate. But life after cricket,
Absolutely.
when you're 38, 40, you can't use 4 World Cup and go to a supermarket.
True.
And it's just the mere fact. And that's why I'm so business headed. That's why I'm here.
Correct.
And me and Mr. Dipish, willing to take T for Tech to the level that, all the other big mega brands, are at the moment. So I'm disappointed to know that it's just 1 series I was going to miss out of 4. And Mr. Ains said that it sounds like you want to choose when you want to play for West Indies, and it can't work like that. We want players that fully dedicated and fully committed to play for West Indies. I'm like, well, sir, I said my bit. And the year before, I missed 100 ball. And I miss out on a lot of money. I don't look at it like that. I look at it like, okay, you know what? I'm playing for my country. Like, this is more important than the money. But when I realized the communication was very poor, during last year when I missed out on 100 ball, I had a contract and it was like £125,000, right? I explained to these guys, I said, listen, we have 15 games before the World Cup. I'm gonna play the first 12 games. I don't need any rest. I'm willing to put my body on the line to play all these games. But the last 3 games against Pakistan in Guyana, I have to go England. Because remember, some COVID thing was still going on. Guyana was on the red list then to go into the UK. So if I go Guyana, I would have to go Jamaica or somewhere for 10 days before I go to England. COVID testing and all those things I would have to go through to go into the country. So no one was talking to me about it leading up. I asked the coach, I said, Coach, it's like 12, 15 days to go before I go England. The team want to know if I'm still coming. They want to know so they can get a replacement or whatever. I can't at the last moment I tell them, no, I can't make it. They have to prepare. They have to try and choose which the best player to replace a player like me.
Yeah.
Now, they say, yeah, we're gonna have a meeting sometime in this week. The week came, it passed. I contact my agent contacts someone on the board. Nothing happened. And when I said to the coach again, I said, Coach, what's going on? No one is talking to me. He's like, well, you have Nicholas Purran, who also have a 100-ball contract. Kieran Pollard also have a 100-ball contract, and they can't go. They're committed to play this series. I said, Coach, the thing is, we are big men. And I'm kind of disappointed knowing that, you beat around the bush. Everyone beat around the bush. Ignore me. And wait until the last moment you're going to tell me this. That's the thing about communication in the Caribbean and with the West Indies, the guys. I said to him, Nicholas Purran and Pollard, they're on a central contract for West Indies. It won't look good for them to leave and go and join a franchise team. The next thing is, both of those guys, vice captain and captain, they can't leave.
Correct.
It's like a captain abandoning the ship.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So, I have no hatage for them. Nothing. I'm just disappointed. I'm not disappointed in any player, anyone. It's just the guys on the board who was involved in making these decisions. It weren't clear. Just tell me that, Russ, you can't go because we want to have the team gelling for the World Cup and everything and whatever. They're gonna tell me no. You can go if you want, but if you don't get picked for the World Cup, it's on you. And that was the instruction coming from the head of the board.
Okay.
And I was like, this sounds like a setup. So you're gonna say in the media that I choose to go and play league cricket than choosing to play for West Indies, when we had a discussion like a month before they select the 15-man squad. And I explained to them that I will have to leave during a certain time. They say, yeah, that's okay. But at the last minute, they know they weren't gonna allow it. It's like, we're big men, just be honest.
Correct.
And then I would prepare myself and say, you know what, I'll miss out on this money for the love of West Indies cricket. And I've done it over the years. Miss out Bangladesh Premier League, which paid well. Miss out on PSL that pays well to play for West Indies. I leave tournaments to go and join West Indies. And what we get paid in international cricket for West Indies is way less than what you can make from a franchise cricket. But that is a sacrifice that I take that no one talk about. But they're quick to say that we are all about the league cricket and the money and whatever. I always look at it. I said, look at these coaches. If they are getting a bigger offer somewhere else, they're gone.
Correct.
So no one is loyal. They're only loyal to the greener grass. So all these things happen. They went to the World Cup. I was hoping to take shame out of everyone's eye, to hopefully they qualify for the Super 12. It didn't happen. It was a bitter moment, but most of my friends, people in Jamaica, family, they call me, yo, Russ, you see what happened with West Indies last night? I'm so happy that they didn't qualify because they didn't pick you. And I look at it opposite. I said, it's not good for us. West Indies was the #1 team in the world in T20. a few years ago.
Correct.
And we have to play qualifiers. Our cricket is going backwards.
Yeah.
And because they are not picking the best players, forcing players that still active, still good, to retire because of the system. So I'm thinking long term, and that's the reason why I'm here. Tifa take all the way.
So yeah, that's a bigger question. Like, why is it happening? Is it island politics, or because obviously, like West Indies, if somebody looks at the bigger picture, West Indies cricket is going backwards because of, like, what happened in the 90s when West Indies, 80s or 90s, West Indies was the top. Then it went down. Again, you guys played all the leagues and brought back West Indies the glory again. Again, now it losing in the qualifiers. So, what do you think is the way forward, and why is it happening here?
As I said before, I think players that's getting involved with the board that used to play the game, they are not happy with the money that we are making. And I'm not beating around the bush. They are not happy. And I always say this. Whatever I'm getting paid to play this game now, I know in another 10, 15, 20 years, players gonna get ridiculous money to play this game. All I have to do, make whatever I can make now, make sure that my kids, my family is comfortable, and I can be comfortable for the rest of my life. That's all I'm thinking about. I'm not gonna worry about a mediocre player that is getting $3 million now to play IPL. I ain't worrying about that. Players long time ago, that when IPL just started, that they used to get maybe $500,000, they are now saying, I was better than this player and I was getting $500,000. Times change. $500,000 back then was a lot of money.
A lot of money, correct.
You could have purchased 4 property with $500,000 US. But they are not looking at that. They are looking at, okay, these players on big bucks. Even commentary, big bucks, big bucks, big bucks. Why they sound so jealous? Think about the positive, right? Now, it's the same thing with West Indies cricket. What I think they need to do better is communicate with players that is well established, like, for instance, myself, where they can come to an agreement and say, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to go about things. We're going to pick these guys to play this series. Our big brand players going to be coming in for this series. And if I have 4 series or 6 series for the year, and I'm going to miss on 2 series, you can't fault me for that. Because maybe when I'm playing those 2 series, or when I'm playing those 4 series, maybe 2 tournaments playing during that same time. So I'm missing out on earnings just to play those 2 series. I just think that is fair.
So you're saying that you're still available for West Indies and you want to give priority to West Indies?
Definitely.
Right.
At 34, my game is experience. I think I know what to do at certain time, crucial moment of the game. And I know when to attack and when to be defensive. I know I can choose the bowlers where I'm going to get a big over from. Choose a over to survive and not to get out. And that's when you played a lot of cricket. I've played over 400 T20 games, so...
Played across the world.
Yeah, that's a lot of experience.